Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday again. It is the Monday Motivation Podcast with Keegan Jewell. I'm your host, Keegan Jewell. I'd just like to say thank you for tuning in if this is your first time. Here at the Monday Motivation Podcast, we are all about coming together one Monday at a time to reach our full potential. So that means make sure you hit that subscribe button, whether you're watching on YouTube, Apple, Google, Spotify, wherever it is, hit that subscribe button, that follow button, and you'll be notified each and every Monday. We have a new episode come out of the Monday Motivation Podcast with Keegan Jewell. And what are we all about? Come together one Monday at a time, again, to reach our full potential. We all have purpose. We all have a calling in life. And why not use Mondays to get on that track for the week? Why not use Mondays to kick off, a great week? Mondays can be tough. Mondays can suck only if we let them. So let's not let Mondays suck. Let's turn that around. Instead of having the mantra of, it's Monday again. Let's have it be, yes, it's another Monday. It's time to get life going again for another week. So that's what we're all about here at the Monday Motivation Podcast with Keegan Jewell. Make sure, again, hit the subscribe button, follow. And again, thank you for tuning into the Monday Motivation Podcast with Keegan Jewell, where, again, we're coming together one Monday at a time to reach our full potential. Happy Monday again, everybody. Welcome again to the Monday Motivation Podcast with Keegan Jewell. I'm your host, Keegan Jewell, and this week we've got a simple phrase that we're talking about. Simple phrase, you do you. Maybe a phrase you've heard before, and maybe not, but it's a phrase, you do you. What does that mean? Many times I think that I think of it, and I've heard this phrase, when it's mentioned, when I've got decisions, or, I may have, someone's like, hey, like, what are you up to? It's like, oh, well, I may go ahead and do this. I don't know. It's like, all right, hey, you do you. Or, that sort of thing. And maybe you've heard it in another way as well. But today we're talking about, here we're all about getting us closer to our passion, getting closer to our purpose. And so that being said, you may be asking, how can we take this phrase, you do you, and get closer to passion, to purpose? And it's by just doing that, by doing you, right? You do you. So, here's the thing. Some of us are in a spot where we are surrounded by people that are like-minded like us, that are looking for us to succeed, and it makes it easy. And when it comes to that, you do you looks like, maybe it's helping, it's using those around you in that circle to help build that. And to help use that encouragement, you do you. It may be easier to do you when you've got people encouraging you. Now, on the flip side of that, maybe you're in a spot that you feel like it's just you. You don't really have anyone that really understands what you want to do or what you're doing. I think we had Famous on here at one point about a couple months ago, and he even said that part of his thing is he kind of kept quiet when he was starting music, because he felt like not a lot of people were around him would understand and get why he wanted to do that. In that moment, it's deciding. I can let the fact that no one's behind me, no one understands what I'm doing, get to me, or I can just go ahead and do me. Even that, you're going to have people, you may have people, turning down, really, like, that's what you want to do? Like, or even saying, there's no way there's no way this will work out. Maybe you're starting a podcast. Maybe you want to start a business. Someone's like, there's no way that'll work out. Maybe you just want to start this different job that people are like, oh yeah, there's no way you'll get that job. No way it's going to work out. No way you'll like it. If you know that that's what you're supposed to do, if you feel called to that direction, if you really feel like your purpose, your passion is in there, it really doesn't matter what others think. It really doesn't. That's where you just got to say, you know what? I'm going to do me. And if you want to follow me, that's great. If not, I'll just prove you wrong. Again, you can use that as motivation if you have to. But just be ready to do you. You know what's best for you. You know what you're passionate about, what you're called to, what your purpose is. And so at some point you've got to say, you know what, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I'm going to do me. Right. And then again, on the flip side, if you've got people around you that are encouraging you, that are building you up towards that and, helping you get to that. And to an extent, you still have to say, I'm going to do me. Because, at some point, you can't just be persuaded so easily by what others think. I had a conversation with a friend of mine, this last week where they were looking at helping out in a certain area, and they weren't for sure. So they didn't 100% commit. They just kind of were around to see what it was like. Wasn't for them. And they went to, they were like, I'm just going to let the people know that this isn't for me. And felt a little bit of pressure from those around them on continuing with it. And they were like, you know what, I just have to, they're like, I've made it my decision that if it's not for me, I'm not going to do that. And instead, I'm going to focus on this other area that I know is for me. And that's what it's going to be. You may have people that are encouraging you and for you to do these things. But, I think of a line from a song I know, and it's an intro to a song. And really, the artist is talking about, he talks about, you've got to do what's best for you. What's best for you. Like they even go to say, maybe your parents, even your mom may even be like, oh, I want what's for the best for you. But what they see as the best for you may not be what you want, and may not be what's best for you when you think about it. And all that's to say, you best. You've got to, have people around you that are going to encourage you and be there. But when there's some tension, when there's some pushback, you have to be ready and willing and able to say, I know myself, this is the path I need to go. This is the path that I need to do. Honestly, even a little bit of my own story, before moving out to Indiana, just last November, going into this last school year, I had to kind of work through things, had to figure out for myself what it was that I needed to do. And even that, I heard both sides. I heard, hey, continue serving in youth ministry. Hey, you know what? You got to do you. And in the end, it just came down to what's best for me? Where do I feel like I'm being called to? Where's my passion? Where's my purpose? And yes, my passion was youth ministry, but at the same time, I knew that it wasn't in that spot, and I knew there's something better and greater out there for me, and turned out great. And so again, you do you. When you've got those around you, you've got to be ready to, yes, take the encouragement, but when conflict hits, when there's some tension, you've got to be ready to know your heart. You've got to know yourself. Again, you know yourself best. If others are saying, hey, do this, but that's not for you. If some people are saying, hey, go ahead and again, hey, do this thing, but that's not for you, and there's this other thing out there that is for you, but others may not see it, you've got to do you, and trust and hope that the real ones are going to stick by you and say, you know what, I thought it was going to be this other one, but I'm still going to support you. I'm still going to encourage you in it. And again, if you're by yourself, it may get tough because you may be going at it alone for a while, and there may be a spot where it may look like it's the easy way out for you, of just saying, you know what, I know if I do this other thing that people will be there and encourage me. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'll encourage you, if you know you're doing what you're supposed to be, even if you're alone, continue doing that. Continue pushing on. Again, you do you. Because like we talked about before, people are going to come along. And if they don't, just continue building that. Continue building, even if it's alone. Because one day it's going to be worth it. One day you're going to make it. It's going to be worth it. But again, you've got to do what's best for you. You do you. Whether that's alone, and you're ready to say, you know what, I'm gonna keep doing this alone by myself. Even if no one's going to support me and encourage me, you got to be ready to fight that. And on the flip side, if you've got people around you that are constantly encouraging you and are in your circle, like-minded, you've got to be ready for some of that tension to come out and come in. When there's some pushback, you got to be ready to know yourself. And so that's what we're going to end on, is know yourself. You know what you're passionate about. You know what you're called for. You know what your purpose is in life. Focus on that and let others see that passion, that purpose, as you continue to live that out. Because people may think, look and see, oh, I think they'd be great at this. I think this is what they're made to do in life. But in the end, it may not be for you. And what's going to show them that it's not for you is by you doing what you know you've got to do, and let that prove it to them. So again, you do you. Focus on your passion, your purpose, your calling. Focus on getting there. Focus on striving towards that. And let others see your purpose and calling through how you live. So this has been another episode of the Monday Motivation Podcast with Keegan Jewell. Again, where we're coming together one Monday at a time to reach our full potential. Make sure to check us out on Instagram at Monday Motivation Podcast. We're in Facebook, the Hope Project. And yeah, reach out if you have any questions, comments on this. Love to hear some feedback. Love to hear from you guys. Again, episode of the Monday Motivation Podcast with Keegan Jewell, where we're coming together one Monday at a time to reach our full potential.